Hi, thanks for joining me. Today I'm moving on to the next cutlery manufacturer, which is Cattaraugus Cutlery Company out of Little Valley, New York. I found 4 items with direct Cattaraugus stamps to check out, and here's what I found. In 1886, John Champlin stopped selling imported knives, and together with the 4 Case brothers, started Cattaraugus Cutlery Company in Little Valley, New York, making knives by hand in small shops and shared facilities along with other cutlery manufacturers. 4 years later, in 1890, John Champlin purchased the specialized knife-making equipment from the now-defunct Beaver Falls Cutlery Company, enabling mass production in a new water-powered factory, and the Case brothers went their own way. Cattaraugus went on to hire skilled cutlers from Germany, England, and other U.S. knife makers. Champlin's experience as a knife wholesaler gave him insight into market demands and the shortcomings of U.S. knife makers, which he addressed by prioritizing premium materials and craftsmanship. All right, I've got 4 old knives from Cattaraugus I'm going to check out today. I don't have perfect dates on any. I'm thinking they're all just about circa 1930. The first one will be quick. It's just an old equal end pen knife. Just going to look at it here in its condition. It appears to be pretty simple. Very simple bar shield, no writing, simple bone type, thin scales, also thin brass liner, suggests cost-cutting production. The bone jig is also very simple. Probably didn't save them much. Likely Depression era, mid-20s, late 20s, circa 1930. Handle's in good shape, though. Not much wear on the outside. It's a lot better than the inside. The blades were small to begin with. They've been sharpened down, especially that second one. And the tang stamp on both blades is the same curved Cattaraugus they used on pretty much all their pocket knives until the 60s. Pretty sure there was no model number on this. If there was, it's gone now. Both blades greatly sharpened, and even still they have nicked edges. It does have half stops and a little bit of snap. Cool little piece of history. And next I've got this pick bone camp knife. I don't know, maybe it's just a jackknife. This one's in a lot better shape than the last one. It's just got one issue I can see, which is this crack at the back pin. And the pins are hand riveted. The jig pattern on this side is called pick bone, just a bunch of picks. And then the other side looks like stag, but that's bone. It's pretty cool. No shield on this knife. The whole thing is just a little scuffed on the outside and the blades as well. They don't have any obvious use. Nobody was cutting rocks with them, but it looks like it got sharpened once, minor, and some minor scratches. I dig the back swedge on the spear point, even though it's not sharpened. It's got some sort of like production issue there on the bottom, on the left side. And then this is combo cap lifter can opener. I don't know, I think that really qualifies it as a camp knife, right? Just having a tool that anyone would use around that time, I guess, seems pretty useful for anyone. I'm dating this one between 1930 to 1940. Next then is this old Stag Fixed Hunting knife. I spent forever looking for anything about this, came up pretty short. Was able to identify some properties here. So from my research, I'm going to say it's circa 1930. This is a hunting knife, which of course doesn't mean you're jumping out of the bushes and killing bears and pigs. Rather, processing game. It's got the long flat blade, skinning, gutting, basic camp chores, building tents and fires. The handle's a beautiful, genuine stag, but its build quality shows the craft wasn't perfected yet. The colored band style at the top and bottom and the thumb grip or jimping are after 1915. And the style on the pommel with the split nut construction is at least 1920s. The hand-riveted scales are pre-1940s, pre-World War II. They had some major advancements in the mass production and standardized the pinning. So hand rivets phased out pre-40s. The 2 things about the tang stamp. First, of course, it's a hand stamp, and the first application didn't stick, so they did it again. It still didn't stick. And then It's the long-tail C, just like the case cutlery used during that same period around the 20s. I found this on the internet, what the stamp should have looked like, but that's a different knife altogether in the photo. A little ironic, maybe. I can see the knife part at the end on mine. And then here I found this in a catalog, which was dated by somebody as 20s to 30s. Not a great help, but there it is with the same stamp and design in a camping set. So I date it circa 1930, sometime 20s to 30s. The stag's in wonderful shape. I can't find any damage on the handle. Both sides are beautiful and shaped well. The pommel has some wear, no hammering, which is super rare on a used fixed blade, if you ask me. The blade's been used. The wear is reasonable. There's no sharpening damage, maybe minor sharpening damage. It's still very sharp and pointy. Seems like any damage would just be light scratches and some minor rusts, some minor pitting. I think the guard scratches is actually the worst of it. And I don't have a sheath for this. But that's all I know about it. And then I got a box here. It's just an empty box, but it does have one original knife still attached to the top. It's still in the original, I don't know what you'd call that, a coil. And when I first saw this, I thought I was just going to take the knife out and look at it, but it's wedged in there kind of good. I could get it out, but for fear of breaking it, I kind of backed off. I don't want to tear or snap anything right now. It would have to come forward this way, but it's just not the best way to go. It's wedged in there pretty good. I guess if I had like a prospective buyer that needed to see it, I could do it, but for now I'm just going to leave it alone. From what I can see just by looking at the knife, it is a jackknife with a large spear point, possibly etched. Appears to be celluloid. This would, of course, just be a display knife, and then there would be other knives inside the box that were actually the sale knives, probably paper wrapped or individually boxed. And this box is in decent shape. Here's the inside. I wasn't able to find that model number or anything about the model number, but it does seem to confirm the two-blade jack with the 2.2. And here's the bottom. Pretty much what you'd expect. It does have some sort of grease stain or something on here. I don't know what to call that. Something got onto it. We can see it around the sides, but it's in good shape. Pretty cool for just a little display. Hard to date it. Best I could do was with AI, and it's saying 30s to 40s based on the advertising with the Indian. And that's all the vintage Cattaraugus I've got. Thanks for checking things out with me. I'm going over the vintage knife manufacturers in my late father's knife collection and checking out what he had from each one and their conditions and features. Unfortunately, I've got to start from scratch because he didn't take any notes. So if you'd like to see more, I've got hundreds of more knives to look over. So feel free to subscribe or check out some of my other videos.